It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. What truth?
He said, is a lie. And all of it, he said, is a lie.
What difference does it make? What difference does it make? Yeah, that's their favorite line. Got a lot of people, what difference does it make? You can't figure out what difference it makes? If you can't figure out what difference it makes that the people running your world of lying to you over and over your whole life, if you can't figure out that someone lying to you is trying to control you, suppressing of information, of knowledge, is control. Deception of information and knowledge is a form of control. So what difference does it make? It makes a big difference, because once they start omitting information or lying about information about where you live, they're doing it to control you, period. Why am I having to explain this to critical thinkers in the truth movement? The way you control billions of people is to keep them divided and fighting each other. Flat Earth is not a psyop. Flat Earth destroys the psyop. Every psyop that's been used to control us for as long as they've known about it. So this system has been in power and control for hundreds of years, ever since they convinced the rest of the world that they didn't know where they live, and created this fantastical scenario to make people feel insignificant and to follow those that appear to know better. Why is the flat earth so important? Because it shows the deception. And if everybody would just come together and demand answers, they would be in checkmate. They would not know what to do.
America, take a good look at your beloved candidates. They're nothing but hideous space reptiles. It's true. We are aliens. But what are you going to do about it?
In my line of work, you got to keep repeating things over and over and over again for the truth to sink in, to kind of catapult the propaganda,
Oh, and they just start making stuff up.
Yeah.
Like that Neil Armstrong guy. Have you seen him on the talk shows?
Neil Armstrong, you mean the first man to walk on the moon?
Talk about a fish story.
Yeah.
I've got one that can see.
Logic before authority.
Hi guys, this is Daniel Alexander Cannon here on Logic Before Authority. The name of this video is Watch Their Hands. Watch their hands. Now, this video is not for everyone, because not everyone is going to believe or understand or have enough knowledge to actually relate to the things that I'm going to be speaking about in this video, and the, let's say, claims that I'm going to make. And I'm just going to tell it the way it is. And if you get it, if you understand it, then good for you, because you're way ahead of the game. And maybe you won't in the beginning, but try to watch this video to its end. This is going to be multifaceted. It's not just going to be stuck on, it's going to stay on one subject area, but it's not going to, I'm going to get into depth. Let's just put it that way. Let's go. Okay, name of this video is Watch Their Hands. And what I mean is that with the creators of various different types, whether it be guys like this, I'm sure a lot of you know who this guy is, and the other people I'm going to be showing, some of which you've never seen before and some of which you have, and some of which are in the, let's just call it the truth arena, and some are not. But they still show the same signs. What signs am I talking about? The hands. Okay, there are how many ways to communicate in this world? 1, 2, 3, so many, right? Well, one way that a certain group of people, of elites in this world, communicate is with their hands. We're going to focus on one particular thing today, and it's called the I call it the tip of the spear hand sign, okay? What it is it's a way for someone to be able to get across that they are part of a team, okay? That they are part of the tip of the spear. Where does the tip of the spear concept come from? It comes from Germany, and back in Hitler's days, he was known for doing the tip of the spear hand sign. It's a German. It started out of Germany and out of the Fourth Reich, okay, and has continued and is still functioning today. But most people are not aware of this, and they're in conjunction with a lot of other controllers, you might call it, or actors, because that's what they are. It's no different than watching WWE, professional wrestling, and believing that it is real, that there are real conflicts and real fights and real grudges and real drama and real scary things and real whatever. It's just an act. The people that you're watching are just actors. Now, let me be clear about something. There are some people in here that I'm not going to say absolutely that this person is an actor for the system, for the beast system. I'm not going to say, now there are some I'm going to say, yeah, this is obviously what this is. But over time, over the last few months, I've been capturing screenshots of people that are in the eye of a lot of people out there, and others when I run across them in different ways, and I saved them, and I'm going to show them to you here. Let's just back up to the beginning here, okay? This is a normal example of the tip of the spear, and this may be a YouTuber that you watch. He's kind of your I think, because I don't really follow him, he's kind of like a prepper kind of guy. And there's some people that I'm going to show you in here that I really wish they were not doing what they're doing, but it's become pretty obvious. But I don't follow this guy, so I just caught him doing this one time. I imagine if you go to his channel, you're going to see this a bunch of times if you so cared to watch. But what I'm doing is warning you of something to watch. And I've said it before, watch their hands, but I'm going to make it more clear. Because when these guys are on that team, meaning not our team, they will use these hand signs. This guy does it occasionally. I'm not 100% where this guy sits, but being as rich as he is, rich ain't a guarantee, but we know what the Bible says about rich people getting into heaven, right? They like their things. Looks like he's got quite nice things. And there's nothing wrong with that. I've got a nice computer at least. But I'm not saying that this guy is for sure, but I'm highly suspect, okay? But you see the way he does his hands and stuff, okay? And a sign that you normally can watch for is if someone's talking and they use their hands a lot in talking, they start doing that, keep an eye out for that. This tip of the spear, okay? Tip of the spear is a military term about being on the edge of the their group, meaning that they are actively working with their group. This group that we're talking about, you could say Freemasons, but it's bigger than that. And definitely the Freemasons use this sign, but it's much bigger than that. Okay? Some of you know who this guy is, some of you don't, and he's not in the truth community. Okay? Not really in general at all. He's really more of an entertainer guy, but he has made himself clear that he's a Freemason. At least a Freemason. You can see that I've included on a lot of these images here the time slots down here on the bottom. So if I back this one up one slot here, you can see this was at 7 seconds, okay, where he did the tip of the spear hand sign. And then he did it again at 48 seconds, okay. And you could say, I mean, this is a pretty purposeful hand position and not some way that somebody normally stands. But, so it's very obvious what he's doing. You could say, however, sometimes, well, maybe it was just an accident. And that can happen. And that's why you have to be discerning and continue to watch. And these people, and generally what they're doing is they are supporting the current political system, the left and right wing of the same bird. Okay, they're saying the ones that are doing the tip of the spear are typically supporting the right side, okay, but they also are part of the left side, the same beast, the same bird, however you want to look at it, okay? So let's keep going here. So, see who else we got. And he was out, and I just took a picture of this because he was pointing out his fascination with the phallic symbol, you know. And that's what that is, even if you don't know it. Here's a controversial one that's going to get some people mad, right? Going to get mad because you're going to say, well, that could be just a coincidence. You're looking at his hands here. Okay. Let's just keep seeing what other ones we have. See if it's seems to be a thing he likes to do. Okay. Oh, got it again, but let's just keep going. We're going to see some different people as we go through here. Here's Alex Stein, okay, and I've caught him a few times doing it, but I'm not positive that his are not accidental, okay? I'm not positive. So I'm not trying to hang actually anyone here, okay? I'm making you aware to watch their hands, okay? Because I know some of these actors or players or just people that some of these people are people that y'all guys like, that you may look up to, may even appreciate their work more than mine. So here's another one. Okay, watch their hands. That was at 2 minutes and 6 seconds in his video, and then again at 3 minutes and 4 seconds. Okay, so they'll start showing themselves. Whoops, didn't mean to show this guy. Well, he's actually the most famous, other than one other person, the most famous for doing this. And I'll come back to this because there's a lot more in depth that I want to speak about and related to that, okay? So here we go. Some of you are going to know this guy, and some of you are going to be a fan of his. But again, he's not in the truth movement, but he is certainly, and I enjoy the entertainment value in what this guy does, and that's part of the problem, you see, is that we should be dealing with our families and dealing with people and dealing with nature as much as possible, and spending less and less time entertaining ourselves using these screens, okay? But this guy is, I'm not saying absolutely, but I highly suspect, and it's mainly because of the people he hangs around with. There's another guy that I'm going to show you here in a minute. He makes it absolutely clear, and it's one of his friends, makes it absolutely clear, without a doubt, that he is a Freemason. And I'll show you that when we get to it. So let's keep moving here. Here's JP again, doing his tip of the spear thing. And, of course, keeps repeating it. And you say, well, he can't be on the other side because he's making fun of Biden. Yes. It doesn't take a very funny person, actually, to make fun of Biden because he's makes himself to be a joke. And what you see with Biden, the way he behaves and acts, it's because it's an act, okay? They want you to believe that we actually have a president of this country that is an idiot, okay? They only show you what they want you to see. They don't have to release the footage of Biden running around lost on stage shaking hands with invisible people and falling down on his bicycle yeah, he could probably get caught in public here and there, but in general, they're only going to show you what they want you to see. And if they want you to really see it, they'll fall down in public with people around with cell phones recording it, right? But they show you that this guy's an idiot because they want you to believe that the country, our country, the United States, an absolute idiot as a president because they want us to lose faith in our leaders because they're going to be removed. All of them. You'll get your way when it comes to that. But the replacement system that's coming in, you're not going to be happy about it. But first, they have to tear down and make you lose all confidence in the current system. Let's keep going. Here's another guy, again, not in the truth arena. He's out there getting paid creating entertainment. But he makes it clear, you see his hands here, and he's done it a number of times, some of which I've caught. Like that one's at 256. Let's see if I caught. Okay, this is at 246. Then he does it again at 256. Okay, so does it a couple times just to make sure you know. Just in that video, just where I happen to be catching this. Okay, here's of course your news people. They're gonna do this. They're gonna show their hands. They're gonna show their affiliation. It's like a gang sign. It's no different. Now, this guy is one that I would say I'm not sure of, okay? He is in the truth community. He considers himself a preacher. He is supposedly a doctor, and he supposedly works at a university. And all that coming together and coming out and actually telling the straight out truth, and him being employed by a university, I don't know. But I like some of the things that he teaches about. But he should watch his hands. These people, anybody that's in the truth movement needs to know this. Okay. Here we go again with JP, and he was talking to this guy, I think, and of course this guy is doing the tip of the spear hand sign. Here we go again at another time in the video. Here we go again at another time in the video. And, of course, JP's doing it at the same time with his hands. You know, reconfirming things. See? They both got it going on. You see that? That's not by mistake, folks. That's not by mistake. Here it is again at another segment further down in the video. Just over and over. And then here he is when he comes out of that segment, talking directly to the camera, doing it again and again. And here we go, somebody doing a TED Talk. And of course, she's doing it. Does that look comfortable? Does that look like a normal way to hold your hands, to rest your hands? Of course not. And sometimes with these characters, with these actors, they will sound like they will have the title and the soundings like they're talking like they have truth in their mouth and common sense. But then you'll find some spots where they're trying to lead people. And this lady here was a good example of that. And of course, you know who this guy is. The sold out Uncle Cracker, as you might call him. And I've called him several times doing it. That really wasn't a good example, but I'm going to show you some more in a second. Here's your buddy Elon, that y'all guys like, that shoots the penises into the heavens. One of them anyways. Okay. He's doing the thing, right? And of course, here he is doing it again from a different angle of the camera, making sure you can see it, but nobody's paying attention except for Jay. He knows what it is because he's in the club. Here he is doing his Mr. Harvey, Mr. Uncle Cracker. Sold out, and they'll take him out, no problem, easily done, just like they did his buddy, if you know what I'm talking about. Like your nice orange Illuminati 33. That's another story. Don't want to get too complicated for anybody that new might want to watch this. Here we go again, different situation with Trump doing the tip of the spear, of course. He's very famous for doing this. He does it anytime he sits down and also when he's standing sometimes. Here we go. We got the military in on it down there when they were talking about the storm. Hurricane Ian that just came in. Before that storm came in, I started seeing a lot of people popping up with their hands doing this thing, right? This is kind of like a little bit of a modified version of it, with the fingers not fully extended, but the thumbs creating the peak of the pyramid, like. They're the tip of the spear, the military, the army. But the army doesn't necessarily look the way you think somebody that's in the military is going to be wearing a uniform. Doesn't necessarily have to be that way. This guy is in the military in a way. He's in the entertainment arm of the military to keep your mind occupied with nonsense, trying to talk you into doing something other with them that's never going to make you a dime. Here he is again with it. And of course, him again with it. And this guy again with it on a different video, confirming at this point this dude is at a minimum a Freemason. Any Freemasons out there want to speak up and tell the truth and confirm this in the comments? There it is again. Another one at a different time point. If you look at the times on this, again, to give you an example. Oops. This was at 25:33, 25:37, 25:44, 25:57, no, excuse me, 26:57, 27:04. You see how many times he's doing it? That's when it really gets easy to confirm that, yes, indeed, they're in the club kind of thing. This guy, I've always thought because of who he associates with, who he's been married to, that he's likely, highly likely in the club and is a deceiver, or at least a controller that tries to interject concepts and ideas into people's minds. And I've listened to a few of his videos, and yeah, he tells a lot of truth. But if you tell 9 truths and 1 lie or 1 deception, are you still a truth teller? Especially if you're intentionally doing it. Okay? I've made mistakes in my years here on YouTube. I've told things that were not a lie, but they just weren't true. And I just didn't know it at the time or realize it. It wasn't intentional. There's a difference. So here this guy is with his hands up, with his pyramid going. You see here? Now this guy is the buddy of the guy I was telling you about, the guy in the car, old Cletus. This is his buddy. And this guy, when this hurricane was coming, he went off with the number of Freemason symbolism signs, especially the tip of the spear. What he was doing is the media had basically said that this hurricane was kind of going to fizzle some, and it was going to go more to the north and bang along the coast and kind of not be so bad. This guy was coming to, he was trying to inform his other Freemasons that may be watching that there is a bad storm coming. Now, this was at 2 seconds into the video. He started doing it, okay? This is at 9 seconds. This is at 15 seconds. This is at 17 seconds. This is at 20 seconds. This is at 25 seconds. This is at 28 seconds. This is at 31 seconds. This is at 42 seconds. This is at 44. Freemasons will also do other various things, and some things aren't even hand signs, like they will cough and do various things. All the coughing you hear Biden doing and some other main actors out there when they're doing a speech, it's not because they're choking, especially when they're doing it over and over a lot. Somebody that was most well known for it was probably Hillary Clinton. So 44 seconds scratching his face, rubbing his mouth at 45. 51 seconds doing an improvised version of the tip of the spear, turning more like a pyramid thing at 51 seconds. 1 minute and 7 seconds. 1 minute and 50 seconds. 1 minute and 56 seconds. 2 minutes 18. He was pounding his hand, his fist in his hand, giving the message that this hurricane was going to come into South Florida and it was going to do great damage. So he was trying to warn his friends, and he's a Freemason, and he's not a guy that is on the higher end of the Freemasons, okay? This guy is someone who thinks he's doing a good thing. He's created a YouTube channel. He owns a diesel repair shop, and he has some buddies that are doing good on YouTube, as far as good for them anyways. But he was using this opportunity to warn his friends, Freemason friends, and you ain't one of them. There's 3 minutes and 21 pounding his fist again. 420, do back to the tip of the spear. 453, 606, 803, or 802, 808, 941, 1035. So you get the point. So I'm going to go ahead and move on through this guy that he was just, these are more of them. He was just going off on these hand signs, just non-stop repeated. That gives you a real good example of someone who's doing it absolutely on purpose, okay? And old governor was getting into it down there too a little bit. And I couldn't really catch a real good shot of him, but here's someone else, okay? This guy is kind of like in the truth community, and I'm speaking of this guy. I'm not incriminating this guy or this guy necessarily. He's the one doing the hand signs in this particular situation. It may have been by accident, but based on the dialogue at the time, it made no sense why he was doing that. Here we go again, a little action with the news people again. Here's old Cletus doing his again, because they're Freemasons. They're in with the club. Now, this isn't a high-level Freemason that's doing bad things. He's probably a good guy that is involved with the wrong people and don't realize it. That's my opinion. It may be worse. At a bare minimum, what he doesn't realize is that he's using his life to be famous and make a lot of money, because he is, and he's becoming very famous, but he doesn't realize he's spending his life, spinning his wheels, doing something that at the end of the day will mean nothing. Even if he builds a racing empire, which he's working on, what good for humanity does that do? He went to school originally to be an attorney. His brother is a dentist. Now, his brother actually is doing something, at least helping people with their teeth. Although I could get into that subject too. Here we go again. Not incriminating everybody I show you, but I'm just showing you some examples. And especially if they're doing it multiple times like this guy was doing at different time points. Here we go with JP again. He was looking back at his first video he did. And even in his first video, he was doing tip of the spear. See, this was at 7 minutes and 30 seconds, 7 minutes and 37, 10 minutes and 2 seconds, 10 minutes and 9 seconds. Those are the actual slides I wanted to show you out of this. We might come, well, I'll mention this real quick just in the middle of the video. Y'all guys remember, it's on a separate subject. Do you remember Back to the Future 1.21 gigawatts in order to time travel. Remember that from Back to the Future? Guess how much wattage CERN uses? 1.2 gigawatts of power. Yep. And they use, overall, for a yearly average, they use 1.2 terawatts. But for the specific project of running the Hadron Collider, it's 1.2 gigawatts. What do you think the coincidences of that are, knowing what these guys are doing, and they're trying to open portals? They literally have admitted it themselves, that they might be able to send something through this portal, or something might come out of the portal. I'm sure some of you remember that quote. So, now, let me go over to my other, tip of the spear. Let's just look at some random things that are related to the tip of the spear, It says that Queen Elizabeth was the tip of the spear. Now, a spear is a weapon. Like this weapon, the tip of the spear. This weapon, this is said to be either a replica or whatever, but the spear that pierced Christ's chest is the spear that Hitler was seeking, one of the items that Hitler was trying to get his hands on back in the day. Now, did he get his hands on it? And did it end up in someone else's hands? Maybe. I think this is a replica, but anyways, I wanted to show it to you real quick. You notice on this replica, all the X's, see the X's? The X itself is the most basic form of the mark of the beast, the image of the beast, It's the X. Think triple X, like, pornography. Triple X, 3 X's, 666. See, X in gematria, or just converting letters to numbers, the X itself is a 6. It's 24 in gematria, which reduces to 6. The X is the most basic form. Now here's Trump. This is him right here at the tip of the spear on this formation. Him up front right here. Trump. He was the tip of the spear in his class with whatever the name of this military grooming organization is. Another shot of that. Here's a book talking about Germany and the tip of the spear, where this came from, Come out of World War II, and the concept of the tip of the spear. It is a Nazi creation, the concept, the idea. It comes from the Nazis. Now, where is Trump's father, Fred Christ, from? He's from Bavaria, Germany. Where was Hitler from? Bavaria, Germany. This is Trump's coat of arms on one of his gates. See, it says Trump down here. Notice that, and I could go into a lot of things here, and I will just a little bit, but notice there's a hand up here holding the tip of this spear. And I've got some other images. You'll see it a little better here in a minute, probably. But it's a hand reaching through a square, which is it's a square leaning on edge, which is the 3D representation of the mark or image of the beast. It's a square or a cube, which might make more sense to some of you. But he's reaching through the cube, which is representation of time, and he's reaching through time and catching the tip of the spear. You see, this is what Trump is saying by his coat of arms. He's reaching through time. You see all this water spurting out? This is imagery of how water flows. Is it or is it not? It is. And he's reaching through. He's a soldier. He's a knight. Okay, like Knights of Malta or those kinds of guys. He's reaching through time, catching the tip of the spear from the past. Here's another image of it. You see how the square is intentionally 3D? Okay, like I was saying. In this image, it represents reaching across and through time and catching the tip of the spear. Another full image on one of his gates. I could get into the lions. I could get into more of this, but the main thing is this is an image based off of it's, in my opinion, it's a satanic image. Okay. And here we have Adolf Hitler's granddaughter, Angela Merkel, doing the tip of the spear. Yeah, Adolf Hitler's granddaughter doing the tip of the spear, along with some other characters that, like Camilla, like, you know, you're familiar with these characters, these actors on a world stage. Here's Angela, in case you're not sure that she is the queen of the tip of the spear. And she is Adolf Hitler's granddaughter. He has 3 granddaughters in the countries surrounding Germany. One is in power in each country. Look it up. You'll find it. I've just done videos on it before, so I don't feel like I should recover everything every time. I just can't. So she obviously is a member of the tip of the spear, along with Trump. Okay? You know, this image here is another coat of arms for Trump, and it's a lion carrying a spear into battle. Lion. What does the Bible say that Satan is? He's a roaring lion, looking for who he can devour. And I'm warning you, that's exactly what's going on. And I'm showing you one way to be able to see it and not be deceived by the deceivers. Please know that my intentions here are good and holy. Another image of it for you. There she is again, sitting down like when Trump sits down. You look up photos of Trump sitting down. Almost every single one, he has the tip of the spear. He's saying he is the tip of the spear entering into the enemy. Question is, who's the enemy? Who's the enemy? You. And if you're a Freemason listening to this, and you're not up in that 33 level or above, you know, you're on the expendable list. Do you think that that Satan isn't willing to eat his own? He is. Oh, but you don't realize that Freemasonry at the top is satanic. You haven't done your research on Freemasonry? You need to. Again, of course, with Putin grinning. So these guys are mortal enemies, right? Because he just cut off the pipeline going to her. Or did she blow it up so you can't get it? Or is the destruction, the attack on the pipeline, an actual attack on the people? Well, who's going to get hurt? The people. Okay. All right. I've done my job. That's it. I love you guys. Watch their hands.
Better to reign in hell than serve in heaven, is that it?
Why not? I'm here on the ground with my nose in it since the whole thing began. I've nurtured every sensation man has been inspired to have. I cared about what he wanted, and I never judged him. Why? Because I never rejected him. In spite of all his imperfections, I'm a fan of man!
I'm a humanist. Maybe the last humanist. Who in their right mind, Kevin, could possibly deny the 20th century was entirely mine? All of it, Kevin! All of it. Mine. I'm peaking, Kevin. It's my time now.
One day, Jesus is coming. You may be at church. You may be at work. You may be asleep. God grant that you will be ready when he makes his personal appearance. My God, what if his appearance occurs